you believe? It is December already as we welcome you to Cameron Indoor Stadium. The 13th ranked Duke Blue Devils hosting the Columbia Lions, the two-time defending regular season champions out of the Ivy League. They made it to their first ever NCAA tournament last year, and they do have some good balance to their attack.
A lot of scores, a lot of shooters on this club. Henderson and Collins will give you not only 30 points a game, but another 10 in assists. So they're constantly moving without the basketball. They create, they've got great spacing and timing, Jen. This is a dangerous offense.
Speaking of dangerous offense,
yes.
Duke right now, who's been bringing it for the Blue Devils?
Gotta love the games right now of Ashlon Jackson and Reigan Richardson. Two players have put up a 30 and a 35 spot in their last two top 10 wins. I love the versatility. Their defense has been there since day one. Now the offense is really starting to come through. Efficiency, unselfish play from these two all-stars in the ACC.
Yeah, you can't just casually drop those 30 performances. That is exactly what they did in the two top 10 wins to win the tournament in Las Vegas. Richardson, after that 35 performance, named tournament MVP. Now back home at Cameron Indoor, a familiar shade of blue, although a little bit more unfamiliar opponent across the way for Duke today. First
no Argyle, so you're safe.
First time Columbia pays a visit to Duke. As you mentioned, a really close one. Last year, just a 4-point victory for Duke in the first ever meeting between these two teams in New York City. Kitty Henderson with the basketball, coming off a career-high 24 points. Columbia winning their last two games in their tournament in the Bahamas. Taking some confidence from that. 6 on the shot clock. That Duke defense making life difficult already. Henderson will have to get a shot. Won't even get it off in time.
Could you start with a better defensive possession if you're Duke? So, seriously, and that young woman right there, Taina Mair, locked up Henderson from the get-go. She said, listen, even your entry passes to the wings are going to be tough all night. And that's what it takes. You have to have good guard pressure in order to really bleed out to the rest of your team.
Carol Austin has rolled out the same starting 5 in now all 9 of their games this season, and that is a beautiful, easy look for Donovan.
It's a great read. Richardson to Donovan off of the screen. Able to read that one and slip through for the easy bucket.
Collins, one of the two players you highlighted for Columbia, can't get her shot to fall. The 6-foot senior averaging just under 14 a game. Mair, so often running the show, but can pick up over the rim herself as well.
So here's what you like to see. Look at the ball movement early on from Duke. We just saw a great slip from the screen from Richardson to Jaden Donovan, and then you see Donovan get the board, bring the ball up full court, and then dish it off to Taina Mair for a floater of a shot. That's how you get 38 assists on 40 field goals, as they did against Oklahoma.
That is just an insane.
And you get a charge. Wow. Taina Mair came to defend today. I love her energy and what she brings to the floor.
Well, are you surprised at all, considering the pep talk you and I got from Carol Austin? We went in her office this morning. I think you and I were fired up. She asked us if we were going to have a good broadcast, and we basically said, yes, coach. We hope so.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, you're just not going to call the game, right? You're going to go kill it. I'm like, yeah, we're going to go kill it. So don't imagine, right, playing for her, what it must feel like. You know, man, there's another backdoor cut. Just great spacing, doesn't go in.
Said it's her job to have that endurance, to continue to keep the standards high for this team. Let them know every game is a challenge. This game is a challenge if they don't bring their best against Columbia. Lions looking for their first points. They'll get it here from Henderson.
You're seeing a lot of players who did play with her come back and have to hunt and look for their shot. And you're seeing a Columbia team that's very balanced this year. They responded well.
2 on the shot clock for Duke. And
you know, Columbia's a team that's confident. You know, they took on a tough schedule as well. They held Indiana with 10. Here they break the pressure. Perry Parks getting out in front of everybody. Perry Page, excuse me.
That is how you do it. The long pass up the floor. Page tying the game, and now the defense putting the ball in the hands of Henderson for 3.
That's why this team is so dangerous. You cannot leave anybody open, especially a Henderson.
Quickly inside to Delaney Thomas, who is fouled.
Scoring well into the 70s, Duke into the 80s.
Henderson committing that foul for Columbia, her first, putting Thomas on the line. And that could be something, just as this game goes on, to watch for, because there is not as much depth on the bench for Columbia as there is for Duke.
That's exactly right. So if I'm Duke, I am going to go ahead and run some sets and try to get 10 to Henderson to pick up her second foul. How about Mair with the read?
4 points in the game for the junior point guard for the Blue Devils. To seal the deal on that one. 1 point Duke lead at the moment. Henderson feeling it on the drive, gets it right back.
She's so tough, isn't she? I mean, it is a non-stop motor for Kitty Henderson.
Senior out of Australia. Her younger sister Fliss also on the team's been hurt, hasn't been able to play yet this year. 7 of Columbia's 9 points coming from Kitty Henderson. Richardson, that three has looked awfully pretty for Reigan Richardson this year.
You see how confident she is when she catches and shoots the ball. It was just kind of a floating effort from her, but the footwork prepared her to get the ball. And that was a nice answer. That's what I'm talking about. The grittiness of this team, they will not go away. And Cecilia Collins, reigning Ivy League Player of the Week, can put it up.
1 point game, Columbia fighting hard on the road. Scheduling this matchup against Duke because they want this challenge of teams that they know are going to be playing in March, and they want to be back there. Made it to the NCAA tournament, first time ever last year. Richardson kept her composure and does eventually get it to go. But Megan Griffith for Columbia telling me, when I asked about last year, that huge first step of making the tournament, her response was, it was heartbreaking. Talented freshman out of Toronto, Ontario, number 35 on the floor, calling for it, gets it inside. That's what she can do.
So this morning when we were talking about her skill set and just feeling so comfortable out there, it's plays like that. She's able to get great position and adjust on the fly to hit a hard shot. Speaking of, ditto. Kitty Henderson is so tough to guard. She's strong. She's really crafty in how she moves laterally. She's not going to beat you. She's not going to out-jump you. Good hesitation that time. Vanessa de Jesus.
Yeah, de Jesus, Jordan Wood, Aluche Okanawa, all making a difference right now coming in. Richardson, the only starter. Fournier has 2 more. Just past her coach in terms of all-time scoring. Now 10th at Columbia. Did that with her 9th point. Page couldn't get it to fall.
Take her out, which is the smart thing to do. Not even the second quarter yet, and one of your best players gets hit with 2 fouls. Columbia immediately responding with pressure, though. I like it.
Be disruptive. That was the first thing that Megan Griffith said when I talked to her yesterday, that they needed to do to compete in this game. Okanawa, gosh, she works so hard on the glass.
She does. We just love her effort. She's so hard to stay in front of.
Largest lead of the game for the Blue Devils at 7. Okanawa led this Blue Devil team off the bench as the 6th player of the year last year. They get up the floor in a hurry.
Okanawa, her length, getting in there, talking about being disruptive.
Collins fouled as she Collins, a transfer from Bucknell. No, 3-point shot. See, that promo threw me off.
That's all right.
I was not ready. Now we got it.
You know, so many times, and it's those moments because you could tell she could draw back on being a player and all the overtime experiences that she had, and what set them apart. Fournier almost gets a shot off, but Richardson gets it back. And it's, you know, Richardson took that to heart.
The 3 on cue is good for Reigan Richardson.
Bad body language, nothing changed with her. She just literally got the ball right back and took a good shot.
Emotional consistency.
Yes.
Kara Lawson would call it.
If you cannot stay emotionally consistent and you don't know what you're going to give your team night in and night out, you're probably not going to be an asset.
Last opportunity here gets taken away. It will be Rice to finish off the first quarter and pull Columbia just a bit closer. advantage for the Duke Blue Devils, but Columbia proving they're not going anywhere. Getting it back, making it count.
Man, we're seeing this Duke team that is getting scarier by the day. I mean, 3 players have been in double figures every single game, and then 5 in 3 games, as we see an unforced turnover.
So she is playing with the 2 fouls. Number 10 in blue. Emma Cable is out on the floor for Duke at the moment. Kara Lawson has used her depth, gone to her bench, which has been really good for this program so far, averaging almost 35 points per game. Foul on Wood. And Duke just takes it away out of the hands of Perry Page. It was Page and Raffy who had the 2 quick fouls a few moments ago in this end of the floor for
that
Columbia.
position.
Results in the first field goal for Delaney Thomas. Add that to a couple of free throws. Every starter, but interestingly, the leading scorer for Duke has scored so far. Ashlon Jackson still scoreless. On the season, she leads this team. Then today, everybody else getting it done, and Collins has the 3.
That's what you get when you play Columbia. You see that spacing, the timing.
Career high 5 threes made in that game, but was 0 for 7 since until that last one just went down. See if that gets her going. Mair shuffled her feet.
So Duke's been doing a lot of switching, very physical defense, meeting them right off the screens and the traps.
Broom too strong.
Good box out. And look ahead.
Donovan flying to the rim, maybe a little too open, but Thomas, until that last pass, just a bit off. That winds up being a turnover instead of some pretty fast break points. And Weiss taking advantage on the other end for Columbia. Tough matchup inside for Page. She knew it, tried to just hold her ground, but Thomas with the height advantage.
Height advantage and the mobility advantage. She was able to sprint, get to her spot, hold it, and the strength of Thomas. And there was nothing that Perry Page could do to hold her off.
Sophia Raffew, 6'1" junior on the bench for Columbia with 2 fouls. They've gone a little smaller as a result. Broom follows her own shot and puts it away.
Great heads-up play by Broom, and those are the hustle plays that keep Columbia in a game like this. They don't have to hit 10 threes, although they would like to.
Richardson fouled as she was shooting.
You saw me practice a bunch in the commercial, so.
Makes perfect.
That's right.
Richardson's been excellent from the line this season for Duke. And of course, there's the miss after that. Build up. 8 points.
Put your collection in the cookie jar. Drop your coins off.
All right, Henderson, you feel, has to get going again. That was her first point since the 3:37 mark of the first quarter. And right back at you is Alucia Kanawa.
How did Kanawa keep hold of that basketball?
3 defensive stops in a row will bring out the turkey and evidently the turkey calls from the Columbia bench. So see if they can get it done. De Jesus gonna have to try to stop her first.
And if you're Duke, you're just thinking, I'm going to step on some necks right here for these next 2 minutes. I'm going to make you feel like you have no shot here in the second half. So it's all about the mentality here.
An important stretch for both teams before halftime. Columbia with an opportunity coming on the road to really test themselves, pick up what could be a huge win if they can find their way back in against a ranked Duke team on the road. And for the Blue Devils to continue to maintain that great form they had winning the tournament in Las Vegas.
Doing what they can to disrupt Duke, try to force them into some difficult outside shots.
Page bringing the ball up the floor now for the Lions. Looked like that foot might have slipped, but no travel.
Columbia.
Her first appearance of the season, the freshman. De Jesus, step back. Yes!
That is an excellent play from Ashlon Ashlon Jackson, who dribbled out of the double team to find an open teammate and get the assist.
Under a minute to go in the first half, still a double-digit lead. Every time Columbia has tried to push back into this one, Duke has had a response. They've had a few more turnovers than either coach would like in this first half, and there's enough. A couple of assists, a couple of rebounds for Jackson. Just 2 field goal attempts, no points yet. Swings it over to Donovan. Okanoa, who wants the shot for Duke. De Jesus gets it inside. Donovan, what a finish! Pull up on the other end from Broom. And Duke will have a 13-point lead to play with here at the half.
That's a true balanced offensive attack. And then they're doing it inside. A lot of 2-point field goals for Duke, not taking a bunch of threes. And for Columbia, this is what you worry about if you're them, because the bench, although they came through in the Ball State game, hasn't been super reliable or deep this year. So once you start getting into foul trouble, which is probably why we're seeing a zone from Columbia to start the second half.
Duke bench outscoring Columbia 19-2 in the first half, and the Blue Devils shooting 57.6%. That's their best shooting half in the first half all season. Columbia won the last 2 regular season titles in the Ivy League. Riley Weiss, their leading scorer on the season, nearly 17 points per game, just 4 points so far, missed on that attempt. Mair dishes it off inside to Thomas. Double digits now for the sophomore.
Good to see Taina Mair get right back into it and get the assist. She was able to create off the drive, read the defense well, and then the dish.
Drive on the other end. Henderson doesn't need that much of an opening. You know she's going to take it.
Yeah, she does such a good job at keeping the defense guessing, and it's, yeah, you could really say that about Columbia's offense as a whole.
Richardson left open in the corner. That's trouble.
Pick it up right where she left off.
The Lions the other way. Inside dish to Rafiu. Mair, the point guard, now in her second season with the Blue Devils. Started her career at Boston College. Jackson still can't hit. Donovan, such a beast on the boards. The Blue Devils have gone a bit cold to start this third quarter. 0 of their last 7. The 3 on the other end won't fly, but it's picked back up and put away. Weiss, 1.1 on the shot clock. Has to be quick, and is off the glass and in for Richardson.
It's great out-of-bounds execution from the Duke players right there. That one will get clipped in a good way. Gonna be able to watch that one on the positive side.
13 in the game now for Reigan Richardson, coming off that massive career-high 35-point performance.
Right to the basket, so they'll instantly be behind you, and she did.
There was some miscommunication you could see on that inbounds, and Henderson took advantage of it. 15 now for the senior from Australia. Kitty Henderson leads this Columbia team in so many categories. Assists, steals, leading them today in points. And Duke finding an answer.
And De Jesus from deep. They've been needing that 3-point shot to fall. A tough day from them otherwise. Not a lot of threes, but actually take that back. They're shooting 40% from 3. They're right on the money.
They'll take that number, I would think.
Now Columbia, meanwhile, trying to struggle and find their stroke. Just 2 of 12 from 3.
Does this team need that, do you think, to get back in this game?
Honestly, yes, I do think they need some 3-point shots to get that confidence and momentum and to keep Duke honest.
Gotta slow them down. Wood on the breakout. Largest lead of the game for the Blue Devils. Henderson's going to need some help, but she'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
Okay, you can pick them 7, but welcome to the ACC. This is what it looks like here. And of course, Miami, new leadership down there. We're in the home that Katie Meyer once played in here at Cameron Indoor. Of course, she's retired, and just to see what the ACC has done in expansion, adding Cal and SMU as well. You know, it's exciting, and I know I was there for media day and just saw how excited SMU was. You know, they walked right into the photo session and they're like, all right, we're about it, pony up. And Richardson is about this game, taking command.
15 in the game now for Richardson, 7 in this quarter. Hesitation won't follow for Perry Page. Out with a basket. Richardson took some steps. She was asking her team and asking herself, are we a good team or did we have a good week? That's what she wants to see today, that she has a good team, not just a team that had a really good week in their tournament in Las Vegas.
Exactly, and she's still, you know, finding out about her team as the games go on, as is everybody. That nice three finally rolling in there. And for Riley Weiss, you'd said, do the three-point shots matter for Columbia? Absolutely, they're critical. But you got to be able to stop the ball in transition much higher. And there's Fournier again, look at smooth, just stepping into the pocket for the finish.
6'2" freshman now with 6 points and a good passing motion there. Gets Page.
They can handle. There's still a team that's within striking distance of coming back in this game. Duke has got to perform and execute.
Again, no foul on that last play, so Duke off the inbounds gets the follow-up from Wood.
She's so good off the ball, reading the rim and the rebound. And at 6'4", with her wingspan that looks to be even more than that, gives the Blue Devils such a good look and danger from the outside.
Henderson, quick to the basket, gets the rebound, puts it in.
Well, Henderson, the only player right now from Columbia in double figures.
And earned National ACC Freshman of the Week honors. They're putting up 25 points against Belmont.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was good.
Finding out that she's giving you a block a game as a freshman is impressive. Seeing her composure and just kind of watching some of the press conferences and the media time that she's put out there is impressive. I think she's a very young, polished player that as soon as she gets adjusted to the speed and gets stronger, she's going to dominate the league.
Broom back on the floor, number 5 for Columbia off the bench, and making her first appearance of the season for the Lions in this game this afternoon. 10 on the shot clock. Henderson passes it off. Weiss for 3 is fouled by Donovan, so she'll head to the free throw line for 3 attempts.
Very intense look on the face of Coach Lawson, who had a lot to say to her bench as soon as she saw that foul committed.
One more coming after this. Use Saturday afternoon's ACC Network men's basketball triple header. We've got Boston College taking on Wake Forest at noon. Number 12, North Carolina hosting Georgia Tech. And then capping the afternoon with Stanford Cal. Should be a good one. Brooke, what do you want to see from Duke here at this point in the game?
I want to see them take command of this game. There's too much hesitation. There's too many unforced turnovers. Play. Let's approach it as if every possession matters.
And remember what is coming next. Not that you're getting ahead of yourself. Obviously, you need to focus on the task at hand. But in the SEC-ACC Challenge, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on the matchup with the Blue Devils and the Gamecocks.
Well, the fans can look forward to it. We can talk about it.
We can. 5 to shoot here for Broom is good. Final few seconds of the third quarter on the clock. Had Cameron Indoor. Donovan. Okanawa in the corner. Thomas has had a nice game for Duke, but can't put the finishing touch on that shot. ACC Challenge. Plenty of ranked teams in the mix, Brooke, and a lot of good games, I think, on the way.
Well, I could just watch the promos a few more. Can we get a few more of those recorded? No, it's going to be awesome, and just a great brand for women's basketball. 2 of the top leagues really in the country, you know, to watch, and 2 of the biggest leagues, right? You know, not even just the talent, but the number of teams. You see defense here going to lead to a foul. Who could, you know, like Coach Lawson said, can you hold the angle of the screen? Can you sit there a second and a beat longer? These are the details she's emphatically telling her team right now, because these are going to show up. They matter in this game. They matter in South Carolina. They're going to matter in the NCAA tournament.
for 2 trip to the free throw lines for the junior Perry Page. Struggled the last couple of games. Had just 1 point in Columbia's last game, which was a win against Ball State that they were really proud of in the Bahamas. Won that 69-62. Lost their first game in the Bahamas against Indiana. Came back with wins against Southern Miss and Ball State. Shot clock almost expired. Mair did get it on the front of the rim. Is there a fourth quarter push to be had for Columbia on the road in their first visit to Cameron Indoor?
Well, they got to get some help from the three-point line. They're just 3 of 16 today. And Duke's done a terrific job of defending it. However, Broom showing up in this game. I'll tell you what, she's got a couple of field goals, and her toughness and tenacity, also getting 3 rebounds.
6 points in the game for the freshman from Seattle, Washington, in her collegiate debut. Drive the other way, and Ashlon Jackson. Ottawa, the ACC 6th Player of the Year last year. Averaged nearly 10 points per game off the bench for the Blue Devils. Led them in rebounding. De Jesus and Donovan running the floor. Jackson driving with the left, was given the lane. She has 4, all of those coming in the fourth quarter.
I like how that possession was like patient and aggressive at the same time. Duke waited for their opportunity, and then Jackson saw the opening, like you said, just took it right down the guts of the lane.
Duke team, a Sweet 16 team a year ago in the NCAA tournament. Backdoor run beautifully, and yet there have been turnovers.
Yeah.
I'm curious your take on what you've seen from this Duke team, and if you think Carol Lawson, what her takeaway is going to be from it.
Oh, I'll tell you, I would love to be in the locker room.
What are Columbia's takeaways, do you think, Brooke, from this game?
Well, I think they know that they can stay competitive with a top-ranked team, but they themselves have to get a better handle of their turnovers. That's what matters in the Ivy League, is the regular season.
Henderson has been the spark all game long for this Columbia team, but they have really struggled as a squad shooting the 3, just 3 for 18 in the game. Nice roll into the basket for Jackson.
Never seen 38 assists. I mean, maybe in an overtime game, maybe, but not on 40 field goals.
It's a program record, those 38 assists, and I'm going to guess that percentage is one that we're not going to see again.
No.
Breakout for Mair means an easy 2. Get ready for their showdown with South Carolina. Next up.
Look, Carol Lawson gave a very spirited speech in the timeout, so don't expect to see these last 2 minutes.
Collins on the free throw line for Columbia. And this is one of the players that you highlighted, Brooke, and for good reason. He averages nearly 14 points per game, one of the captains for this team. Can be a three-point threat. He's the Ivy League Player of the Week, leading returning scorer. All that to be said, those points from the free throw line are the first she's had since halftime.
Yeah,
get on the score sheet.
Well, another game with at least 3 players in double figures for Duke. It's happened every single game this season. And the balanced scoring, it's scary for the Blue Devils, also shooting 51% from the floor today.
Janessa Cotton out there on the floor now. She also has not scored.
Coming from De Jesus, who had 6. But the turnovers just, you know, you had said, how would you feel if you're Coach Lawson? Relieved, not satisfied.
Not going to be happy with that open look for 3. Riley Weisscott either. Under a minute to play. Against Columbia, and now a steal. Broom all the way to the rim, but can't finish. Gets the ball back, taps it over, and Mair caught in the trap. It is a jump ball.
You execute it the right way, you can stay on balance, probably get a better hold of the basketball.
Weiss again off the inbounds. More of a contested shot this time, and it showed. Duke looking for a little bit more. Fournier obliges. Weiss is fouled, not done yet. 1.4. You tell me.
I don't know.
I'll follow you for the trends.
That's a bad idea.
And Weiss has quietly found her way to 16 points now. Had just 4 in the first half. She's going to be important for this Columbia team as they continue on through their season, get ready for Ivy League play. Now the final whistle goes, and Duke can celebrate or take a sigh of relief with the win, improving to 8-1 overall on the season. Hey, look, I'm just impressed you still had any gas left in the tank after coming back from Las Vegas, but what were the words that Carol Lawson talked to you guys about and that you talked about as a team from what you needed to see out of this game today?
Yeah, it was definitely hard to bounce back. We had to recover for sure after coming off those 2 big wins against those top 10 teams. But the main thing for us is to, not be content with those wins. Those wins are in the past, and now we're focused on the road ahead. So we took this game as it was another game, and we prepared as if they were a top 10 team too. So just keep moving forward. We're just going to prepare for each game, and just keep pushing.
Reigan, 19 points for you and 9 players scoring for your team today. Another couple in double figures. What does it say about your Duke team to have so much balance offensively?
Our team is very unselfish. We want each other to score. We want each other to do great. And so whenever a teammate's wide open, we're definitely going to look to pass. And whenever we're able to get ours, we're able to get ours. So just overall, our bench is really deep. And, just having that will be very effective, down the stretch.
Reigan, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Duke Blue Devils victorious back at home today. They get the job done against Columbia. Next up, a trip to South Carolina, December 5th. You can see that on ESPN, part of the SEC-ACC matchup. But the final score today, 77-61, 13th ranked Duke taking care of business at home. For Brooke Weisbrod, I'm Jen Hildreth. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here at Cameron Indoor on ACCN.